Hello, welcome to the latest breaking news. In this video, you will see important news on USA trending and breaking. Please like this video, subscribe this channel. The Apprentice is a riveting if familiar account of Donald Trump's years spent at Roy Cohn's knee. As Dr. Frankenstein once learned, the problem with creating a monster is that eventually, you have to confront the horrors you have wrought. That's what happened to Roy Cohn, Jeremy Strong, after mentoring a young Donald Trump. Sebastian Stan, an American parable of greed and betrayal brought to life with a soap-operatic glee in The Apprentice, which is making its North American premiere at the Telluride Film Festival ahead of its pre-election October 11 release date. The movie has generated plenty of press already, garnering cease-and-desist letters and attempts to block its release from the Trump campaign. But despite that furor, The Apprentice doesn't tell us anything we don't already know, considering the sheer volume of press that Trump has received in the last 10 years. The Apprentice, directed by Ali Abbasi and written by journalist Gabriel Sherman, chronicles the rise of Donald Trump as a real estate mogul and his descent into greed, egomania, and moral bankruptcy throughout the 1970s and 80s. As a young man desperate to impress his father, Fred Martin Donovan, Trump finds an unexpected ally in notorious lawyer Roy Cohn, infamous for sending the Rosenbergs to the electric chair at the height of the Red Scare. Cohn takes Trump under his corrupted wing, teaching him the 3 rules by which he lives. 1. Attack, attack, attack. 2. Admit nothing, deny everything. And 3. No matter what happens, you claim victory and never admit defeat. It's a sickeningly familiar playbook to anyone who's watched the news in the past decade. As a wheeler and dealer, Cohn covets his power and champions the notion that truth is malleable, embracing his status as an indicted and embattled legal figure. But he also has a secret. He's gay, sleeping with Russell Eldridge, Ben Sullivan, and a host of other men who flit in and out of his circle. But as is so often the case, the student eventually exceeds the master as Trump elevates Cohn's propensity for lies and exploitation of legal gray areas to an art of the deal. The film doesn't offer much insight into Trump beyond what's already out there, hitting the bullet points of his withholding father, early forays into real estate, hyperbolic business dealings accompanied by massive debts, and a latent misogyny that eventually extends even to his wife, Ivana Maria Bakalova. Perhaps that's because there is nothing left to plumb. By this point, Trump and every political pundit with airtime has made it abundantly clear who he is and how he got that way. The most disturbing aspect of The Apprentice is how familiar this all is by now and how numb we are to its depravity. What The Apprentice does have to offer is a masterful slate of performances that far exceed the usual mimicry of many buzzy Hollywood biopics. Stan avoids any of the over-the-top late-night parodies of Donald Trump, instead gradually evolving into the more recognizable bloviating, canned, grotesque figure. At first, he has the marker of only a few of Trump's tics, the slight pucker of his lips, the halting, hyperbolic, repetitive speech patterns. But as Donnie's ego grows, so does his waistline, his bald spot, and his exaggerated way of talking, his lips puckering in direct correlation to his spiraling egomania. Stan shows us that devolution with a careful precision, foregoing imitation for a true embodiment. It's hard to believe that anyone as attractive as Stan could so believably transform into a man so wretched, and yet he does so with a subtlety that Trump scarcely deserves. Still, while Stan's transformation is remarkable, the movie's myth is strong as Roy Cohn. Strong, who won an Emmy for his portrayal of eldest boy Kendall Roy on Succession, has a gift for humanizing the most corrupt and despicable among us. Without question, Roy Cohn was one of the most repugnant historical figures of the 20th century, and yet somehow Strong makes us feel empathy for the man, and really, Mr. Strong, I say this with deep affection, you for that. Strong is able to reach beyond the moral rot and corruption of a person to find whatever fragile piece of a soul his characters may possess. Strong also delivers a riveting arc, beginning as an overly tanned power player and wasting away into a man felled by his own hubris and the AIDS epidemic. As Trump slowly excises Cohn from his life, you can practically hear Strong mutter, "Et tu, brute," as he sizes up the monster he has created.